ॐ सहनाववतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। हरिः ॐ। पार्थाय प्रतिबोधितां भगवता नारायणेन स्वयं व्यासेन ग्रथितां पुराणमुनिना मध्ये महाभारतम् अद्वैतामृतवर्षिणीं भगवतीम् अष्टादशाध्यायिनीम् अम्ब त्वाम् अनुसन्दधामि। भगवद्गीते भवद्वेषिणीम् वसुदेवसुतं देवं कंसचाणूरमर्दनं देवकी परमानन्दं कृष्णं वन्दे जगद्गुरुं। मूकं करोति वाचालं पङ्गुं लङ्घयते गिरिं यत्कृपातमहं वन्दे परमानन्दमाधवम्। My namaskars to you all who are listening this talk on Srimad Bhagavad Gita. Last Sunday we didn't have class, and prior to that Sunday, now we are in the 13th chapter and verses number. Now, as I said to you, this is in a way, this 13th chapter, Trayodash Adhyaya, Kshetra Kshetrajna Vibhaga Yoga. It's important here in the sense, and also some difficult concepts are theories are postulated here. Rather, we repeatedly see Bhagwan Sri Krishna. His attitude is not to push his theories. This is very significant of him. And what we see is he gives due acknowledgement to the prevalent theories, what is known so far. So, definitely the Sankhya philosophy is prior to Bhagwan Sri Krishna, and he exhaustively draws upon it, draws upon Sankhya. The Vedanta philosophy is also developed by this time. This is clearly very evident from the teachings of not only Sri Krishna in Bhagavad Gita, but in general in Mahabharata. So this is very significant to note the evolution of philosophies when we study these things in hindsight. So and try to finalize the dates of these especially from the books. So this is what we find. So by the time of Mahabharata, it seems they have taken very distinct shape, but also it seems like as Sri Krishna uses Sankhya philosophy very fluidly alongside of Vedanta, it means they are not that way isolated and compartmentalized. Nor does even Shankaracharya late in 8th century, even he draws heavily on Sankhyan cosmology. So therefore we see in the Kshetra Kshetranya Vibhaga Yoga, and before in the last class when I was trying to explain, and it was towards the end of the class, so even time was because our time was getting closed, so I felt that this might be these ideas might be difficult to comprehend when I was trying to explain them, but not to be bothered by it. And what we people, the I would say the ordinary devotee or person like person like me, so who looks at Gita more as a manual of spirituality, and we are not interested in Bhagavad Gita in the sense, not just very theoretically philosophical way. The people who just for academic philosopher, not academic philosophical way. Yes, Tattvajnan we want to understand it, therefore, definitely. But not, we are not philosopher in the sense of academic philosopher. We are not that. We are not trying to do that. They will do hair splitting and waste lot of energy, goes into polemics. And even when we were taught Bhagavad Gita or any scriptures, even for us brahmacharis when we went to Belur Math at training center, so our scriptures were taught to us sans or without these polemics. Polemics is when and Shankaracharya or his commentary many time it indulges into it. It has to, because it's one of the primary purposes. One of the primary purposes to defeat the rival or opponent or alternative views, to establish the supremacy of Vedanta. That is the objective cut out for the Shankara, and that's why he has to, and sometimes he has to take that approach. And when I see I was going through Shankar Bhashya, and I really felt that it is not necessary for us to if we just take the primary meaning of the verses of Srimad Bhagavad Gita, that is quite good for us, good enough for us. We need not dwell or dive into, like here that verse is there, this 19th verse, Prakrutim Purusham Chaiva Vidyanadi Ubhavapi Vikaranscha Gunaschaiva Vidhi Prakriti Sambhavan. This is the 19th verse. Okay. So now here it is very clear that Vidya means no, that Prakriti and Purusha, they are indeed eva anadi ubhav api. This is what being said. Now Shankaracharya, he spends almost a lot of time defeating another view which is possible to scuttle the intended meaning of the Bhagwan. So what is being very evident here, that Bhagwan is saying to Arjuna that know that this Prakriti and Purusha, both Ubhav, both of them are Anadi. Anadi means which does not have any beginning, means they are always there. This is the meaning. So Shankara finds a possibility that somebody can do a mischief here and can say that meaning of the Anadi might be, or meaning of Anadi, if somebody makes the meaning of Anadi, that they were not in the beginning, means they came up later. So it is completely different meaning. It is completely different meaning, and that means it is a production, and it came up later. It was not in the beginning. And he said it will create chaos if we accept this position. And he went on defeating that, arguing in against this position. So this is not required for us. we do not have any use of this, because we are not the mischief makers. So only if somebody does the mischief, we will not be able to answer it. If we do not know the Shankara's position, we will not be able to answer it. Okay, but that is not our concern. We are reading Bhagavad Gita for ourselves. So this is the clear meaning. They are anadi. So this is now these verses, like I said to you that this Kshetra, Kshetrajna, this whole 13th chapter, it draws heavily upon Sankhyan philosophy. Now these verses 19th until, say, let us say 23rd. Okay. So these all verses, they toe the line of Sankhyas very literally. Exactly, he picks up from there, and this is purely Sankhyan philosophy. Sankhyan and Vedantins, they so to say do not, fight or contradict each other. Only Sankhyans end at this point, that ultimate reality is this of dual nature, Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha being the sentient cause and Prakriti being the material cause. Okay. So consciousness lies with the Purusha, Chit lies with the Purusha. Both are Sat, but Ananda lies with Prakriti. This is what they said. This is what they said. This was the conclusion of the Sankhyans. Vedantins only don't accept their final conclusion. This final conclusion is not accepted by the Vedanti. They say, so far so good, but truth does not end here. There is one further step you need to go. And that being the state of the unity. This is only the difference between the Sankhyans and the Vedantis. So far as Vedantis do not contradict Sankhyans, and they all absorb their epistemology and their the division of Prakriti and everything, they adopt it toto. So Sankhyans are already a very developed philosophy or thought system, if I say. Anyhow, so what is being said here? So we will take from this 19th verse itself. So this line I have explained to you, that Bhagavan is saying to Arjuna that no, this Prakriti and Purusha, they are eternal, anadi. They do not have any beginning. And vikaranscha gunascha vidhi Prakriti sambhavan. That vikara, that is modifications, and gunads. What is gunads? So now this their cosmology, what we say, that whole process of creation, that Prakriti, that avidya, and then Mahat, and then Akasha and Prana, and from them all, Prana is like energy, Akasha is like matter, and then this energy start acting upon matter, and from them all different elements come, and then through the process of Panchikaranas, then these gross elements are formed, and with these gross elements, with everything else in this universe are formed, all Indriyas, objects, your so 27 elements of Prakriti are formed. Panchendriya, Panchavishaya, Tanmatra, etc., etc. Karmendriya, this everything. So 5, 5, 5, 15, Antakaran Chatushtay, that is 4, 19, etc. So Some people divide, some people take some other sort of division, but more or less this is the idea. Now, these gunas here, its manifestations of different kind of experiences, they are also referred as gunas apart from these gunas, sattva, rajas, tamas. So like pleasure, pain, etc., these vikara, they would be called as gunas also. So this is to be noted. So what Prakriti Sambhavan means? They are born out of Prakriti. That this Vikara, that is modification. Vikara means all this development, because from Prakriti then everything proceeds which forms this multiplicity of this universe. So that's why Vikara means all this creation. It is called as Vikara. Try to understand this. See? So Vikara in otherwise it is known as something ailment, a malady, that is Vikara. Right? In Ayurveda. So yes, this is Vikara of Prakriti. Vikruti. Prakriti is going to Vikara, that is Vikruti. It is not in its original element. It is modifying. And that's why this creation. So this creation is referred as a malady. So it is coming out of its own element, and when dissolving or going back to its own element would be attaining its own Swaprakriti. So we use the word, for health, what? Swasthya. That whether you are situated in yourself. Swastha. Stha means where are you situated? If you are situated in Swa, in yourself, then you are Swastha. Then you are a healthy person. If there is a Vikara, then you are not your own self. So there is that element, it needs to be treated. So whole this creation of earth, that is Vikara of Prakriti. So we come to think of everything what we experience. So Vikara and Guna, both of them are Prakriti Sambhavan. They are born out of Prakriti. Now see, Sankhya's have a very wonderful idea of creation. They say that Prakriti itself does not create. And Purusha, of course, it is soul, pure, and therefore there is no possibility of anything. Purusha does not have anything but consciousness. There is no creation. But when Purusha and Prakriti, they say they are like two parallel lines. They never intermix, ever. But somehow this confusion is formed. So like you, instead of seeing from this angle, you see in a crosswise angle, and you see they are superimposed on each other. And then only you have the creation. And why this need to happen? So it is explained in the next verses. So this version, it said, so the whole creation is this illusion, therefore. And therefore the ultimate aim of Sankhyan philosophy is what an individual is supposed to attain is to know this solitary state of Purusha, that Purusha is not intermixed ever with Prakriti. This is to be known. This is to be known. And this is that Purusha is alone and separated. It was never mixed with Prakriti. This knowledge is to be gained, and this delusion is to be dropped off.
What is the relation between Guna and Vikara?
Guna and Vikara. So, like we have said, Vikara which are, they are like modification. Like suppose these elements are there, like mana is there, they are like continuous entities. They are like, your mind is form, mind is always there. Okay, so elements are form, this akasha, prana, they are the vikara of the prakriti. Understood that? So pancha, 5 elements from pancha vishaya, pancha tanmatra, pancha jnanendriya, pancha karmendriya, they are the elements, they constitutes elements of prakriti, they are the vikara. But these gunas are there, these are the experiences created within this interaction of different elements. Like with your gyanendriya, your karmendriya, your prana tells you that you should eat, you go there, then you do some action, you take some fruit, eat it. If it is sweet, you feel happy. If it is bitter, you feel very sour. So this is now different experiences created of happiness and sorrow. So this is guna. Understand the difference? I said to you earlier, I mentioned this, that here gunas are, I again saying this, gunas are manifesting themselves as pleasure, pain, etc. These experiences also, they are referred by the gunas. This word here, especially vikanascha gunachaiva, and within this setup, 6 verses 19 to 23. So 5 verses. So gunas, by their implication, we have to also understand the different experiences. Here, what I was looking for, Bhagwan, when he explained the nature of Prakriti in the very beginning of these verses, especially the verse number 5th and 6th. So he experienced this vikara, Mahabhutani, Ahankara, Buddhi, Avyaktam, Evacha, Indriyani, Dashaikamcha, Pancha, Chendriya, Gocharaha. So this is the vikara. And Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham, Sanghata, Chetana, Dhruti. So this is Etat Kshetram Samasena Savikaram Udavrutam. So this is Kshetra and its vikara Bhagwan has expressed. So in this very chapter itself. So Ichha, Dvesha, Sukham, Dukkham. So how does this happen? Sanghatas Chetana through its Sanghata, through its interaction, this happens. So gunas, therefore, yes, definitely there are 3 gunas, and due to their characteristic difference, so these different elements have their different nature, there is a differentiation, and in their interaction you experience what you come to experience, sukha, dukkha, etc. Here in the next verse, again this idea is reiterated. So vikara and guna. Got it? And they are both are called as Prakriti Sambhavan. This part is why the guna we have to refer it to these experiences, and why not the guna like Sattvic, Rajasic, Tamasic, why not that guna? Because especially we talk here about the Prakriti Sambhavan, this adjective. They are born out of Prakriti. So when we talk about the Prakriti, these gunas are born, Prakriti is gunamayi. When there is a creation, these 3 gunas, they actually try to, come to their function. And when they become silent, everything goes to dissolution. This is the idea Sankhyan proposes. So gunas are never created. That is verily the Prakriti itself. So when we use the word Prakriti Sambhavan, that is born out of Prakriti, We cannot refer to the gunas as sattva, rajas, tamas. So when we are talking something about Prakriti Sambhavan, that is which is born out of Prakriti, then by that implication we mean to say when these gunas come into play. And when they come into play, we have this sansara prapancha. Okay. Now here again, see why the sukha dukkha are referred as gunas. Now in the next verse, Bhagavan says, Karya karana kartrutve hetu prakriti ruchyate purushah sukha dukkhanam bhoktrutve hetu ruchyate. Now here also in this verse, Shankaracharya take these words Karya, Karana and especially Karya and Karana. See, Karana he refers as the instruments and Karya as the body, and he goes on, propound that particular, he takes that line to interpret this verse in this way. We may skip that and we may generally just go by the what is the explicit meaning of the verse. We need not go by that implied or drawn such meaning. So whatever happens, that is effect, that is a karya, karana, that is what is the cause, and what is the doership, the kartrutva. In all these three cases, that means all the actions of the world, Prakriti would be said to be the hetu, that she is responsible, that it is onus lies with the Prakriti. Whereas wheresoever karma exists, action happens. So doership, cause and effect, these all three are within the domains of the Prakriti. Now, what does Purusha? Purusha sukha dukkhanam bhoktrutve hetu ruchyate. So sukha dukkha, vikara, guna. So vikara and guna. So these sukha dukkha are experienced by the Purusha alone. Bhoktrutve hetu ruchyate. Purusha is supposed to be the enjoyer, the experiencer of this sukha and dukkha, of happiness and sorrow. This is what being said, because this theory of Sankhyans is that why Purusha and Prakriti should come together, because they say that Ananda lies only with Prakriti, and this is what attracts Purusha. This is rather very naive way of putting it, and many times we find such kind of explanations and such kind of suppose language and such kind of reference even during deep philosophical thought. It only shows that the people of that time who were when they were giving shape to these ideas, it was perfectly okay for them to think in this manner. So even in the Upanishads, sometimes you come across some examples, or in the life of great people, these instances might happen. So far that was the Sankhyan position. So Vedantis take, or rather Shankaracharya takes rather more evolved position, because he comes much later than Sankyans. He is coming in the 8th century. Okay, Sankhyan are existing much before, so thousands of years back. Sri Krishna is referring to them. So Shankara takes more nuanced position, that this is the concept of Maya he brings in, and he says we cannot explain this, how this anomaly come to pass. What Sankyans are doing, trying to explain which is not defensible, which you cannot explain. And Shankaracharya exactly takes that position, and he says this cannot be explained. That is the truth. Howsoever you put it philosophically, then later on Bodhas also, but this problem cannot be explained, this problem cannot be rationally and logically solved. What is the case? That if something there is which is pure, this is totally never goes under any modification, it never intermixes with anything. How then it intermixes, and this we have this experience of creation? If Atma is Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swabhava, then how does it come to pass and experience, consider itself as a Jivatma, trapped in this Chitta, Mana, Buddhi, Ahankara? How does it come to associate it with the Prakriti? How does this happen? So Shankaracharya brings this to resolve this. He introduces this concept of Maya, but nonetheless, more or less, this is the moot position, that this question cannot be answered. For which many times I give my own one example or take on it. I say, see, Avasthatraya Viveka, in which this is analyzed and this is discriminated, and in which they try to show that your mental world, in your dream world, when you are dreaming, that is as real as this world. There is no difference, so to say. Now suppose you are in a dream, and whatever you are dreaming, suppose you are a ferocious person running after the tiger, and tiger is afraid of you and running in front of you, and you are chasing the tiger. Suppose you are seeing something like this in the dream. As long as the dream persists, it is real. Tiger is afraid of you. Whereas you might be a person who is afraid of even cats in real life, but that does not hold any true there. Now tiger is afraid of you and is running. So as long as dream is there, dream is the truth, as true as this world. Its colors, its substances, its people, its voices, its dialogues, everything is real. It taste probably, smell probably, even that is possible. Our dreams are not many times or not or full five senses engaged. Mostly our eyes and to some part of our tongue or our ear. Not more than that. You do not smell something in the dream and realize later when you wake up. This happens very little. But many times you hear, many times you see, and you wake up. You see, and you remember that I saw something there, like children do. Something happened in the dream and they ask its explanation in the morning. It happened to me that my grandfather something gave me in the dream, and I asked him in the morning that where is it? Like that. So he was very fond of diaries, many diaries. So for different purposes. And sometimes which is very kindly, sometimes one he used to give to me. I was a very young child at that time. Maybe started going to school or something, I do not know. So I remember I woke up and asked him that where is that diary you gave me? He said, I did give you. So for me it is as real as this one. I am not able to believe that. So he is trying to explain me that maybe in your dream that happened. But it is taking considerable time to come to this reality that there is a dream, and might be it is very well dream and it never really happened in this real world. Alright. So only the question is, we are not having solidifying such experience which will deny this world, and then you will come to think of this world as a dream true. Only you are one experience away. If you have one experience, it will shake and demolish, it will shake completely this experience that this world is the only truth. So, in that avasthatraya viveka, this is what we think. Now, my question, my answer to this impossible question was this. My response. I say everybody of us dream. Many of us remember when the dream breaks. If something it is very terrifying or something, you wake up. Most of the time dream passes away and you slowly wakes up and you do not remember when the dream ended. Like most of the time. But many a times if you are awakened through the dream, that you remember that this is what was happening in the dream, you know at what point dream broke. Okay. So in once I was slept like that and some odd time, and I was alone in my house and I had locked the door from inside. It was some festive season, people had gone outside, and in my dream I am hearing that somebody is knocking the door, and slowly I realize in the dream that knocking of the door is happening in actual other world. And then I woke up. I was so heavily drowsy. Then I opened the door. Everybody shouting at me then because I put them into inconvenience. So you came to know at what point your dream breaks. More or less, you can experience this. Can you get me one person, only one, or one instance, who can say that what point his dream begins? You cannot say that. Everybody of us remembers when this memory or anything he collects, he is already in the dream. We never know when we enter the dream, when the dream begins. This is how it is. So this is one explanation why you cannot say where the Maya begins. You can say where the Maya ends. You cannot say where the Maya begins. You cannot say that. Another take I will give you in this regard, that why this question cannot be answered, however philosophical answers may you give to it. Why this is impossible to answer. There are studies made on near-death experiences, really recorded by the doctors, MD doctors, not in India, America. It happened that one doctor, one after other, he came across 3 cases, and that drew his interest, and he decided that he will make a study on it, and he goes after make more than hundreds of cases, and many of them he literally narrates, and a book is there, it's published, Parting Vision. Name of the book is Parting Vision. And these near death experiences are they are classified in 3 different categories. Like some people, they come to know their death or somebody else's death before they are actually dying, so they are called as pre-death monitions. Then some people, so there are experiences that some people, they have very near death, that means they die for a moment and they come back. So this is the second. And third thing are called as post-death visitations. So second part is very interesting. So first and third part are there, like we have heard many. Which one? Yeah, clinical, they are declared for a moment, clinically, yeah, and but they return back. And how many cases you will deny? Sometimes there are children, 8 years, 9 years old, and there are, of course, there are cases of reincarnations. Even people were convicted by the murders, because murder could identify the perpetrator, weapon, and the dead body. One case even happened in India. There was Second World War fighter. He was reborn again, and he exactly identified everything. So that boy started developing problem. When he was 1 to 2 years old, especially terrified by some particular kinds of noises, and then by the age of 4, everything became clear that he was World War II fighter, etc., etc. So there are, but this near death experiences, something is very, there is very common one. Few experiences of them are very common. So when they die and when they, so this thing that they know, they can tell when they die and when they left their body and when they came out of their body, where their body was lying, when they came out of their room operation theater, how other people were weeping and what they were doing, everything they saw, this everything they told, how they come out of the body, everybody narrated similar way. These people are unknown, they are separated by time and spaces. These people are, so this doctor, whenever there is a case, he is going and meeting these people. So when they come out of the body, they never come out of from the leg side, they always come out of from the head side. So that the sukshma sharira, just like body like this, but just not this gross, they always come out like this. Dead body is this lying there from the head side, head side, not the leg side. The body does not come out like this, body always comes out like this. So as if you are removing a sleeve from the pillow. Okay, the cover is left, or rather the inside something is left and outside is still there. And now whether this thing experience is happened, it is how shaped by this girl's narration of the experiences, what happened during the time when outside the operation theater, what people were doing, so etc., etc. So this is one of the thing. Another thing was that everybody saw a dark tunnel, and at the end of it there is a light. This experience is narrated by many people, so this is very common. But none of them could narrate how did they awake in this body again. They could tell that when they die, they could not ever, none of them can narrate these things, that when did, then they simply cut the story and they simply say, then I woke up in this body. So these are my two takes, that why this question, whether it satisfies somebody or not, that is I do not feel obligated to convince someone. Philosopher's stand is that within Maya you cannot ask this question, how this Maya come to exist or come to pass, why this confusion arose. This you cannot ask this question. This is philosophical standpoint of, this is philosophy. It is philosophically all right. But if somebody wants to be satisfied, this is how it is. You can see its end, you cannot see its beginning. Now, so Sankhya's view is this. Sankhya tried to explain it just like children. So, because they say, because Ananda lies with Prakriti, this Prakriti, and Purusha does not have Ananda, that's why Purusha get attracted towards Prakriti, and then we have this creation. This effulgence of this multiplicity. Okay. So that's why Bhokta of all this experience is always Purusha. Prakriti provides it, but Purusha is the enjoyer, experiencer of all the experiences. And for, like Sankhya's give an example, that it is like Prakriti is like Nartaki. She is like a dancer. She is dancing, and Purusha is the enjoyer, who is the person for whom she is dancing, who is witnessing that dance beautifully, charmingly, and he is very delighted to see the dance. So whole of Prakriti's dance is meant for the Purusha. This is Sankhyan's take. Because at the end of it, where philosophical they had to reach, at the end of it, they simply become like, now they are not able to transcend and go dive and crack this open. What Vedantis did later through their experiences. So they are just speaking like children's, with their own simplicity, with their own naivety. What best explanation they could logically think of, they are giving. And their similes also are putting like that. They are putting in this way. So it's beauty. I will not consider it is a fault, but it is its beauty. This is how philosophically develops, evolves. Now this is what Sankhyan position is. So here again in the 21st verse, this is explained. Purusha prakrutistho hi bhungte prakrutijan gunan. Again, this word is used. Prakrutijan gunan bhungte. So he is gunan bhungte, that is, he is consuming. Literally saying bhungte is consuming, or you can say enjoying. Enjoying what? Gunan what? This propelled by the gunas, the different experiences called sukha dukkha. That's why by derivation here the word guna, they use the sukha dukkha. Combining these arguments of verse 20 and 21st, this is how you come to conclusion. By implication, guna means sukha dukkhadi anubhava. So Purusha prakrutistha, why? Because this experience of sukha and dukkha, where that is happening, it is only in the case of if Purusha associates and finds itself as a Jivatman, and then there is Antakarana, that is inner instrument, Bahya Karana, that is Indriya, and the Vishaya. If this trinity is there, and then only there would be experiences, interaction, and there would be experiences, and Purusha would be able to consume that, enjoy that. Bhungte prakrutijan gunan is gunan bhungte, that is, it is consuming gunas, that is the experience, consuming the experience of this dualistic nature, of this varied nature. Prakriti, without being prakrutistha, Purusha alone never, there is no question. If that's why, and Sankhyan makes this very profound statement there. He say all the effort of Prakriti, all this Prakriti what is doing, ultimately has the one purpose. She says that she is like a dancer dancing for the this entertainment of this Purusha. But they say, they take it to more profound level of the whole purpose of all this of Prakriti's functioning is that Purusha realizes its Kaivalya. Kaivalya is its aloneness, that he is ever, never intermixed, and he is always residing in itself. He is never contaminated. That's why whole drama, whole play of Prakriti is for this one purpose only, for this Kaivalya or Moksha. So this is something great we can take our in our life, that what is happening in our life is ultimately it has only one purpose, that we might realize our Kaivalya, we might have our Moksha. That we were never body, mind and this Sansara Vishaya Prapancha. We were always Nitya, Shuddha, Buddha, Mukta, Swabhava, Atma. So here they say, because Purusha Prakrutistho hi, indeed being in the Prakriti, Prakrutistha, Bhungte, Bhungte is enjoys or he consumes. This Prakriti Jan, that Prakriti Jan means produced by the Prakriti, born out of Prakriti. This Gunan, born out of Prakriti. Because all these experiences, this is the domain of Prakriti. This lies within Prakriti. So this is Purusha, like mesmerized, he's showing he's enjoying the show, that firework, what Prakriti is showing. This divine Maya. And this says, this is also Karanam Guna Sangha Asya. This attachment to this Guna Sangha Asya, this Purushasya, this is the Karanam. For what? Sad Asad Yoni Janmasu. तुम सत और असत योनि में जो जन्म प्राप्त करते हो, उसका ये कारण है। ये पुरुष का जो तुमको जो प्रकृति के प्रति जो अटैचमेंट है, जो तुम फायरवर्क देखना चाहते हो, यू आर मेस्मराइज, यू आर डम फाउंडेड टू सी दिस मैजिक, so this your attachment and infatuation toward it, this is what causes you to take birth again and again. If you retrieve from that, if you leave that moha, that infatuation, then you will realize your kaivalya. This is Purusha prakrutistho hi bhungte prakrutijan gunan karanam guna sangosya sadasadyoni janmasu. Purusha seated in Prakriti experiences the gunas born of Prakriti. The reason of his birth in good and evil wombs is his attachment to the gunas. These gunas again referring to the experiences. ये जो देख रहा है प्रकृति के पास वो डिवाइन ये है, तुमको देखना है, ओके, ब्रह्मांड है उसके पास। तो अगर तुम इससे अगर तो इससे मोह तुम इसका छोड़ दो, तो फिर तुम अपना मोक्ष पा सकते हो, कैवल्य की। तुमको और किसी चीज की जरूरत नहीं है। तुमको जो प्राप्त करना है, जो तुम्हें चाहिए, वो तुम्हारे भीतर ही है। तुमको बाहर देखना केवल छोड़ देना है। नेक्स्ट वर्स इट सेज हियर, उपद्रष्टानुमंता च भर्ता भोक्ता महेश्वरः परमात्मेति चाप्युक्तो देहेस्मिन् पुरुषः परः. So here Bhagwan now he says, now somewhat this is the idea acceptable to both Sankhyans as well as Vedantins. So he says, and the Supreme Purusha Parah. So in the way, so there is no this one Purusha which is Prakrutistha, which is Jivatma, and there is another Purusha which is Parah, which is superior, which is supreme. There are no two Purushas. There are no two Purushas. There are no two Atmas. It is in its higher sense. When we say Purusha Parah, the Para Purusha, Para means higher. So there is no one lower Purusha and one is higher Purusha. Now this is lower state or higher state, you can say. One which is infatuated and trapped in this Prakriti. That is the lower state, Jivatma. But bereft of it, then it itself is the higher state. And that is considered as, Bhagavan says, different epithets or adjectives which is known, that Purusha is known by, that Atman is known by, he enumerate. That he is also called as Upadrashta, that is, he is the overseer, onlooker. And Anumanta, he is the permitter. He permits, he allows to things happen. Without his permission, there is no creation. Without his consent, there is no dance, there is no firework. Nothing is going to happen. It is with his permission only. He is the supreme overseer. But he is overseer. He does not intervene. Because karya, karana, kartrutve, hetu prakriti ruchyate. That is the domain of prakriti. Cause, effect and doership. That does not belong to Purusha, is away from it. As long as you see the action, it is Prakriti. I quoted you that verse I liked it very much. In the last class also I quoted that. What is that? 14th verse, 5th chapter. न कर्तृत्वम न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु न कर्मफल संयोगम स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. तुम लोग याद कर लो इसको, मैं जब भूल जाऊं तो मुझे याद दिलाना, ठीक है कि नहीं? क्या याद रखो ये वर्ष. न कर्तृत्वम न कर्माणि लोकस्य सृजति प्रभु न कर्मफल संयोगम स्वभावस्तु प्रवर्तते. दिस इज 14th verse from 5th chapter. Okay, this verse you remember. So Krishna very well, he very clearly he declares, na kartrutvam na karmani lokasya, of anybody in this world, I am not responsible for it. I do not create your karma, your kartrutva. Na karma phala sayyogam, not karma phala sayyog also. Do not take it, do not hold me responsible for it. And there also he said, Swabhavastu pravartate. Prakruti only acts. She is only acting. Here also, similar, karya karana kartrutve hetu prakruti ruchyate. So, here Upadrashta, he is the overseer, onlooker, witness, sakshi. And he is also, he is not just mute or handicapped onlooker. He is not handicapped. He is onlooker, he is not intervening. That means he doesn't intervene by his principle, but without his permission, nothing happens. He is Anumanta. Without his Anumati, nothing is happening. Bharata, he is the sustainer. He provides. Without that, nothing is happening. He is the Bharata. Bhokta, he is also the enjoyer. And he is the great Lord Maheshwara. He is the ruler. He is the ruler of the Prakruti. Prakruti does not supersede him. He supersedes the Prakruti. Now, why I say that this verse is somewhat between Vedanta and, because Vedantins does not like this language of, suppose, Maheshwara, that one is ruling over other. Sorry, Sankhyans does not like this language. But Vedantans use this language. When we say Vedanta, Vedanta means all. Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita and Advaita. Okay. Vedanta means all these three combined. That is Vedanta. Dvaita, Vishishta Dvaita and Advaita. Vedanta is not just Advaita. Not to make mistake. So Maheshwara, he is the great Lord. Ishwara means one who rules. He rules just by his presence. He provides me. If he is not there, nothing is going to happen. He is the power, he is the energy. No. You cannot attribute, you cannot say, use that word to him. Like power or like energy, like Shakti. That words are attributed, they are attributed to generally Prakruti, not Purusha. But he is the life of everything. Without him, so with Krishna is there, then Gopi can dance and play, and then only they can experience that intensity of devotion. But Krishna is not there. Without Krishna, then there is no devotion. So he is Maheshwara and also called as Paramatma. Paramatma iti. So Paramatma iti cha api ukto api uktaha. So in this way, that Purusha Paraha, Parama Purusha, it is known. Upadrashta, Anumanta, Bharta, Bhokta, Maheshwara, Paramatmeti Chapyukto, Paramatma iti cha api uktoha. Dehesmin, in this body, this Purusha, Dehesmin Purusha Para. So same one which is Jivatma, which is at a lower state, he is fall in this trap and takes birth after birth in Sat and Asat Yoni. So sometimes he becoming even for that say for Yoni means we do not have to understand that he has to become pig or dog or something. Even for the we say human being, you can be good human being and you can be worse human being. That itself is a Sad and Asad Yoni. Isn't it? Even to good parents, some worthless fellows are born. Isn't it? So that happens. That is Asad Yoni. So that fellow is what to do is born of such qualities and character and attributes. Nothing works. Nothing works. That he is pain, his and misery and source of sorrow to everyone else. He suffers and make all others suffer. So this is the thing. So what does now Bhagwan is trying to convey to him? Now he says that he wraps up in the next verse. Ya evam vetti purusham prakrutim cha gunai saha sarvatha vartamanopi nasa bhuyo bhijayate. So he says, if you now understand this distinction very clearly, that there is this conscious entity which is called as Kshetrajna or Purusha, and there is something called as Prakriti, and this is how the things are going on. These two things are distinct. This is constantly giving rise to different experiences, and this is how this sansar prapancha is going on. And with this Purusha, Prakriti and Guna, that play of these gunas, now here guna we can refer to these three gunas. Because what does guna do, he has explained earlier. Now we can fall back to the original meaning of the gunas. Guna is saha, or we can still have that meaning of the attributed or implicated meaning, implied meaning, that is the experiences. That how you experience the world, what is Purusha and what is Prakriti. Knowing this, sarvatha, that in all ways, vartamanopi, so whatever you do, however you exist, if you have got the knowledge, this knowledge is clearly established, you are established in this knowledge. So meaning that he is doing what he has to follow through, and that's it. But what would be the result? He says, Nasa bhuyo bhijayate. Bhuya means again, abhijayate means this person will not have to be born again. Means he will attain moksha. He will become free. He will attain liberation. Then you will be set free of this trap, which he had said, Sadasad yoni janmasu. This you would be free of this attachment. Then what you would be doing? It is not due to that infatuation of the Prakriti. That you are not drawn, you are not governed, you are not driven by this infatuation, this moha of Prakriti. Your understanding is very clear, this distinction is clear. You are no more deluded. You do what is necessary. Therefore, in whatsoever way, sarvatha vartamanopi, however you may live, you will become free. So, meaning samam bonam of all this set of verses is this, that how this knowledge is to be taken, exploited, incorporated incorporated into your life scheme or life attitude so that you become free. That this life is hell. This is so it continuously it will make slave out of you if you want to become free. So here in this context, that Krishna is asking Arjuna to go fight, but he said, Arjuna, Krishna is saying that you are deluded. That's why you are thinking one way or other, becoming emotional. Meaning that just do your part. You are giving too much importance to yourself. You are nothing. Okay. This is Prakriti, this is Purusha, this is the play going on. Okay, just play your part and get out of here. Okay. So far as these beautiful verses, okay. So then here some verses starts somewhat. They are again like meditation on that Atman. So we will wrap it here. Okay, contemplate these verses and pray to God. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Hari Om Tat Sat. Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu. Upadrishtanvanta cha bharta bhokta maheshwara.